compared to everything else on here. I mean, the rest of this stuff is plastic. I could throw this across the street if I wanted to, but... Okay, turn it off. That's all we can afford. What's going on, you guys? Steve here. And I'm really excited because today I'm going to show you guys my modded Green Goblin arcade stick for the Sega Dreamcast. This is it. There's many like it, but this one is mine. Actually, there's not many like it, and that's kind of why I wanted to make this video. So I did the full Focus Attack Sanwa upgrade for this unit. And I feel like there's no information on the internet about this mod. A lot of people on the internet, they jump on Reddit and tell people, yeah, just drill holes into your arcade stick. There's no options for updates. If you want to get Sanwa buttons or Sanwa sticks, you got to just drill into it and ruin your unit. And that's not true. I did this mod, I want to say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that at the time of recording anyways. So this is something that's been available since the pandemic. Obviously, if you had a Green Goblin back in 2005, yeah, you had to drill holes into it. That's the only way that you could get some 30mm buttons in there. I haven't seen anyone make a video on this. I don't see too many people talking about this or educating people on this. Let's raise some awareness and share some information. For those of you who don't know, this is the arcade stick for the Sega Dreamcast. This is the official arcade stick for the Sega Dreamcast. It was made by Agetec, and it's called the Green Goblin because it has green buttons and a green ball top. It was designed to mimic the Player One side of Sega candy cabs of the day. Honestly, I love this thing. It just elevates the experience when I'm playing on original hardware. What's cool is it has a VMU slot, so for certain games you can actually see game information. For most games it just shows a logo or something spinning around, but it is cool. They didn't really reach their full potential with the VMU, but there's some games where it actually takes advantage of it. In this video I basically want to show some of the changes that I made, and I'll drop a link in the description for everything I use, so if you're interested you can do this too. It's a very simple mod and you only need a screwdriver. Oddly enough, you don't have to permanently damage your unit. So if you're like me, you want to keep all of your original parts intact, you don't want to damage it, this is definitely the mod for you. So the original stick had a metal plate on the top and it was a gray plate, but now I have a Plexi plate that I bought and I designed this cover art to mimic the original gray overlay. I made this in Photoshop and you can get them printed. You can print them yourself, but I got mine from Focus Attack. The reason why I had to get the Plexi for this mod is because the original buttons that come with the stick are 28mm. It's a proprietary, really quirky size. Most arcade buttons come in 24mm or 30mm, so 24 is too small to fit, 30 is too big. So this custom Plexi allows you to add 30mm buttons without drilling into your original metal plate. You just unscrew it and go about your business. You will need a special screwdriver. I believe it's called the T10 for this top plate to get this off. You'll need a Phillips for the bottom and a T10 for the top to get this off. Everything else just kind of snaps in. I basically deconstructed a Sanwa JLF, the 8-way stick. That was just a really easy swap. You just connect a wire harness and just add all of the parts except for the gate for the JLF. That was the only thing about the stick on this unit, is that you have to keep the original square gate. You can't remove the actual gate that comes with the stick. So if you hate square gates, I mean, you're kind of stuck. If you want to do this mod anyways, you can drill, you know, your own stick into it like everybody else does. But if you want to keep it intact without doing permanent damage to the housing or anything on the unit, that's the way to go. You basically just swap everything except the housing for the gate right here. Everything else in here is from the Sanwa JLF. For the buttons, I use 30mm Sanwa convex buttons. I love these because, I mean, they're just the OG Japanese arcade buttons. I prefer convex buttons. Even on this arcade machine right next to me, I modded this and I added convex buttons on that too. I feel like my fingers are just doing the splits with concave buttons. I don't know, maybe I just have really small hands, but I just don't really like the feel of that. Even with the buttons, it's very simple. Essentially, they would have glue on the original buttons and you kind of have to pick that old glue off, and then you just attach these little dongles that you get from Focus Attack. They just connect each button to the harness. So you have to be very mindful of, okay, this one goes to this one goes to that one. You don't want to get them mixed up because you'll just get the wrong function on the wrong button. So yeah, I recommend doing them one at a time just so you know, okay, this one goes to this one goes to this, and so on and so on. Honestly, that's the mod. It's really easy. You basically just swap out and you just get the wire harnesses that they include. To avoid drilling into this plastic housing, you just swap the faceplate. You can add your own custom graphics as well. You don't have to keep it with this original gray graphic. I remade this myself just because I wanted it to look OG. There's a bottom metal plate. I would say it's maybe a pound. And then the top plate, it's pretty hefty. It was a metal plate on the top too. And that was, I'd say, maybe closer to 3 pounds. something like that. It was a little hefty compared to everything else on here. I mean, the rest of this stuff is plastic. I could throw this across the street if I wanted to, but yeah, that metal plate was most of the weight on the top. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think. Have you done this mod? Will you do this mod? I'll drop the link to everything I used in the description. This would probably run you closer to $100 to do this mod, so be mindful of that. It's about the same price as the unit itself. I wanted to do this just because I wanted to keep all of my OEM parts. I mean, you can do whatever you want with your stuff. And that's all I got for this one. So pretty sick. I'm really proud of this. It just extends the life of the unit. The original buttons were kind of small. They were really wonky. There was like a bunch of space in the housing of the buttons. It wasn't very satisfying when you press the buttons. They would kind of drop at an angle. They were really loud and clackety, and I just like using these. I put some silencers in the buttons, and they're Sanwa parts.